significant item, but eligible for consent. And so all of us did our reading, all of us did our preparing, and we have the option to go consent unless something changes in the next 10 minutes, or we have the option to hear it if we feel as though it needs to be heard and there be any potential for amendments to recommend to council. So I would like to take sort of the temperature of the commission, if there is a temperature to be had. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there and curious what your thoughts are. Are there any burning concerns, questions that needed to be answered that warrant it being heard, or do we feel decent enough? I mean, it's a hard question to answer if you don't have something specific, but if we do, again, we have the option, and we had the same conversation last week, right? And so if we want to hold off in for 10 minutes and we can come back to it when we create the consent agenda, we can do that too.
Mr. Chair, I'll weigh in, I guess.
Sure.
I was prepared to hear it, but I also am okay with consent if the rest of the commission is. I guess the one question I have, since we're recommending, is it more helpful to council to have us hear it and ask our questions and hear the presentation, or does it make a difference? I mean, I know they're going to have to hear it anyway, but I don't know what the thoughts of staff is on that.
That's a good question, Commissioner Torres. And I know that the general thought about what the purpose behind a planning and zoning commission is, it's to obviously weigh in on the decisions that we need to make, but it's also to be an extension of council, given we're appointed and vetted by the mayor, staff, and then of course the council themselves, as a bit of a filter, if you will, and sounding board prior to it reaching the council. So take that for what it's worth. Any other thoughts? You don't have to have one. We can just come back in a few minutes and then we'll go from there. So. Commissioner Shaver.
Mr. Chair. Yeah, I tend to fall to consent on this item.
Okay.
I trust, this has been vetted by staff, right? Like staff's been working on it. We're a third party to review, right, and provide input. I think in this case, I'm comfortable with staff's study of the area and the drawings, and I feel like because we are recommending that, I'm not sure we're going to tease out much tonight, but that's just where I sit, right? I don't feel like I need to tease out much more, right? I feel pretty comfortable. That area of town obviously is, challenging in many respects, right? Just south of town has kind of been challenging in many respects, but just knowing what staff's been working on and the level of detail in the staff report, I think I'm comfortable proceeding with consent on this item.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Shaper.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes, I'll agree with Commissioner Shafer. I think this is part of a specific plan, so maybe that's why there's no, comment. That would certainly make sense if it's kind of in line with what they're saying. Yeah, and just given the scope and the detail that we've seen in the staff report, I'm comfortable with consent as well.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to add something, Commissioner? You good?
I'm good.
Okay. Why don't we go ahead and adjourn, and then we'll come back in 6 minutes and we'll partay.
Mr. Chair, looks like it's 6 o'clock if you're ready to get started. All right, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the Boise City Planning and Zoning Commission public hearing. And just a few things to start out with for tonight's proceeding. We actually don't have anyone on Zoom, so I'm going to skip that part since it does not pertain to anyone. But our procedures for public hearings begin with a presentation from the planning team, We'll then go to the applicant and then the representative of the Registered Neighborhood Association. This will be followed by questions from the commission. After that, we will proceed to public testimony, starting with those who are in person, then those who signed up in the sign-up sheet in advance, and then finally, anyone online. Each member of the public is allowed 3 minutes for testimony. We are strict with this time as it is limited in code. And finally, the applicant is allowed 5 minutes for rebuttal, after which the hearing will be closed and the commission will deliberate and render a decision. Mr. Chair, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Crystal. All right, we are citizen volunteers appointed by the mayor and approved by the city council. We make final decisions on conditional use permits, variances, and appeals, and recommendations to city council on subdivisions, rezones, annexations, and code or comprehensive plan amendments. Any decision made tonight may be appealed to the city council, provided that the appeal is filed within 10 days of this hearing. In order to file an appeal, you must have given written or oral testimony at tonight's meeting. So that's why it's important to give your name and address when you testify tonight. Utilize the consent agenda. This means that if the applicant agrees with the staff report and if there is no public opposition, the item will be placed on the consent agenda. All items that are placed in the consent agenda are approved with one motion without further public comment. For items not on the consent agenda, we hold a full public hearing in the order just detailed a few minutes ago with staff, applicant, neighborhood association, and then the public testimony. Thank you all for attending tonight. Clerk, please call the roll.
Danley,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Schaefer,
Here.
Seha,
Here.
Torres,
Here.
Doan,
Here.
Stallings,
Here.
Stefancic.
Here.
All present.
Okay. So we've got, just make sure, hold on. Okay, we've got 2 items that are eligible for the consent agenda. Starting with item number 2. This is SUB 25-71 Abundant Subdivision located at 5100 West Bel Air Street, a preliminary and final plat for a residential subdivision of 2 buildable lots. Is the applicant in attendance? Let the record show the applicant is in attendance, and do you agree with the terms and conditions of the staff report? Okay, great. Let the record reflect that the applicant is in attendance and does approve or agree with the recommendations or terms and conditions of the staff report. Is there anybody in chambers or online who wishes to testify in opposition to item number 2, SUB 25-71? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and place item number 2 on the consent agenda. That moves us to item number 3, ZOA 25-1, Bailey Engineers, S1 located at S1506131 which is a zoning code amendment to establish a minimum square footage amount of commercial development in the village center. And then SUB 25-3, this is Barnwood Village subdivision with the same address. This is a preliminary plat for a mixed use subdivision of 3 commercial and let's see, 3 commercial, 118 residential, and 19 common lots on 69.45 acres in Syringa Valley. Is the applicant in attendance? Okay, great. And do you agree with the terms and conditions of the staff report? Awesome. Let the record reflect that the applicant is in attendance and does agree with the terms and conditions of the staff report. Is there anybody here in chambers or online who wishes to testify in opposition to item number 3, ZOA 25-1 or SUB 25-3? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and place item number 3 on the consent agenda. With that, that is all that is eligible for the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Moore.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as constructed.
Great. I've got a motion by Commissioner Moore to approve the consent agenda. Or a second.
Second.
Oh, I think that was Commissioner Doan. I'm going to go with Commissioner Doan. Okay. I have a second by Commissioner Doan. Is there any discussion? Looks like we might have one.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner
I
Seah.
just have a question. Someone made a motion, but we had somebody walk into the room as we were conducting business. So do we take them into account, or how does that work?
Well, if they were in opposition, they would have raised their hand.
But we
We can confirm. Consent agenda is not approved just yet. It might be the deferral. Good to go? Okay. Point taken. Okay, thank you. Okay, any other discussion on the consent agenda? Yes, there is. I don't normally do this, but I feel compelled to make this statement. With respect to item number 3, I'm going to support the consent agenda. No problem with the project whatsoever. Here's what I am massively frustrated with and feel we need to take action on. We have a letter from the airport that is saying that they are perfectly fine with the hundreds of homes that are being requested to be built. Great. And it's in the airport area of influence once again. And it goes from decibels 60 to 65 in Greenfield. Nothing around it, no infrastructure, and we're approving it. Fine, that is what it is. Last week, we had an application for 7 units that apparently, because it went to 66 decibels, was not permitted and was infill, completely flanked with all the infrastructure necessary, and had a multifamily unit between it and the airport already in existence for 30 years, and we denied it. We denied 7 what would have been single family starter homes in an infill lot because of this airport influence area issue, again, rearing its head for 66 dB, but are willing to approve hundreds of homes in Greenfield closer to the airport because it reaches 65. This to me is a massive issue. And it's one that this city has got to grapple with. And we as a planning and zoning commission, by state LUPA and by our own code, are a body that should be participating in a solution to this. And I hope that the city takes us up on it. I'll be the first in line, whether someone doesn't like it or not, to get this resolved, because we missed, in my opinion, a great opportunity for a quality product last week and are perfectly fine with, again, hundreds of homes out in the desert at this point for 1 decibel difference. So that's my soapbox. I apologize. Don't normally do that, but I think we got to get this issue figured out. So, all right. Any other comments? Hearing none, would clerk please call the roll?
Danley,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Seha,
Aye.
Torres,
Aye.
Stone,
Aye.
Stallings,
Aye.
Stefancic,
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And last but not least is item number 1. This is a request for a deferral, a recommendation for a deferral. This is SUB 25-65 Ziggy subdivision located at 1462 South Wiedemann, I think it is, Avenue. It's a preliminary plat for a residential subdivision. So this was a recommendation to deferral. Is the applicant attendance? No online? No online either, I don't think. Okay. Is there anybody in chambers who wished to testify on item number 1 or online who cannot be here on January 12th, 2026, our first item in the new year? Seeing none. Okay, with that, then I would go ahead and entertain a motion to defer item number 1 to January 12th.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Moore.
I move that we defer item number 1 to January 12th, 2026 hearing.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. And that's Commissioner Torres. Excellent. A second by Commissioner Torres. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, with clerk please call the roll.
Danley,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Seha,
Aye.
Torres,
Aye.
Stone,
Aye.
Stallings,
Aye.
Stefancic,
Aye.
all in favor, motion carries.
Okay, thank you all very much to my fellow commissioners, staff, security, everybody who's involved in making this happen every single, well, at least twice, usually twice a month. Thank you. Appreciate your efforts. Enjoy your holiday and we'll see you in January. Thank you.